This week I wanted to look at opening week twos in 3 suits. I'm going to cover what do they show, how you respond to week twos, which could be bidding a new suit, raising to the 3 level, or we'll talk about the 2 no trump feature request, and then we'll also cover competing against week twos and how you bid strong hands with about 20 to 22 points. Week twos have become very popular, especially in duplicate bridge, and they've very much replaced strong twos, which used to be played with a hand of around 20 points and your own good suit. The reason for it is that weak twos occur much more common than strong twos would, and they also have a very disruptive effect on the opponents. So if you play weak twos in 3 suits, you should use 2 clubs as your strong bid. That shows 23 or more points, or slightly fewer points, with game in your own hand. And then the other bids, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts and 2 spades, show a hand too weak to open one of a suit, with about 5 to 10 points, and a reasonably good 6 card suit. It's normally a hand where if your partner has a fit for you, it's worth about 7 to 8 losers using the losing trick count. So 7 losers if it's a good hand, 8 losers if it's a poor hand. And this bid is announced in England EBU games as weak. So when your partner opens 2 of a suit, your partner will announce the bid as weak, if that's what it is. Here are some typical week 2 hands. The first one is only 6 points, so it's a minimum, but you have a nice 6 card suit, and it's actually only 7 losers if you count the your expected losers if your partner has a fit for you in spades. Those losers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers there. So I would always open that 2 spades. This hand is a little bit weaker, still 6 points, although the points are not so much in your long suit there. And if you count your expected losers, if your partner has a fit for you in spades, you've actually got 8 losers there. This is a hand where you might bid 2 spades if you're not vulnerable, but perhaps pass if you're vulnerable, although I know many people who would bid 2 spades anyway with this hand. And then finally a maximum hand with 10 points there, and a reasonable 6 card diamond suit. You could bid 2 diamonds there. That's about the strongest you should be for a week 2. If you're any stronger, you would open 1 diamond with that hand. How do you respond to a week 2? Well, remember your partner is typically about 8 points or so, so you need to have something like 16 to be thinking about game in a major. Or if you have a very good fit, you may also be able to make game. So on a typical hand like this, a balanced 12 points, just pass. If you have a slightly weak hand in points, but your own good suit, you may be thinking about bidding your spade suit, but really you've already got a fit in hearts, haven't you? You've got an 8 card fit in hearts, so you know you're unlikely to be able to be in a much better spot if you bid 2 spades. So just pass 2 hearts again. This is the kind of hand you need to be thinking about game. 17 points, and you have a 9 card fit for your partner, and I would bid 4 hearts there. If you want, you can count your losers there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even if your partner has an 8 loser hand, you should in theory be able to make 4 hearts. And there's another kind of hand where you could jump to game. Here you're jumping to game based on the fact that you've got a 10 card trump fit. You have 10 hearts between you, only 8 points, but what that means is that the opponents almost certainly could make something in spades, and I would bid 4 hearts here. I wouldn't necessarily always expect to make it. Sometimes you will be able to make it despite your low points, but it will, as well as having a chance to score in hearts, you will keep your opponents out of the spade contract. Another thing you can do when your partner opens a weak 2 is to bid your own suit. And typically that shows a hand where you're looking for game and you want to suggest your suit as an alternative to your partner's. It should be a good 5-card suit. This is the kind of hand you want to have. And basically you're telling your partner, if you have some kind of support for me, typically 3 cards, then you should support me, and maybe we'll be better off here playing in 4 hearts rather than 5 diamonds. On this hand, your partner supports you and you will go to game. And 4 hearts should be easier to make here and score better than 5 diamonds. Another thing you can do when your partner opens with a weak 2 is to raise them to the 3 level. And this is used as a preemptive bid. You are not inviting game on a hand like this. It's typically done where you've got 3 trump support, so you know you have a 9-card fit, and you bid this just to make it harder for the opponents to enter the bidding. If you look at these 2 hands together, you'll see you probably won't make 3 hearts, although you may well just go down 1 trick. But the benefit of raising to 3 hearts is it makes it harder for the opponents to compete. Otherwise, you make it easy for South to come in with a double or maybe bid 2 spades if you just pass 2 hearts. Okay, so very important to remember that is not invitational. West must pass 3 hearts, should not bid 4 hearts or make any raise. Okay. What if you actually are thinking about game but maybe you're not quite sure about it? Well, with this kind of hand, here you've got 15 points, you've got a fit for your partner, and you might be thinking about the possibility of 4 hearts here. 2 no trump is normally used as a feature request, and it's asking your partner to show a feature in a side suit. Now this should be either an ace or a king or perhaps a queen-jack combination. And you're asking them to bid a feature there. So on this hand, that's the reason East bids 2 hearts. He's really looking for a feature in one of the side suits. You know, ace of spades would be nice, ace or king of diamonds would be nice, king of clubs would be nice, that would fit in very well with you. But if your partner has no feature or is an absolute bare minimum, he just goes back to the 3 of the trump suit and you should pass. And I hope you can see on this hand, 3 hearts is about the limit of this hand because you're going to lose a spade, 1 club and 2 diamonds presumably. If you bid 2 no trump on the same hand and your partner shows a feature, here this has to be the ace or king of diamonds. This now fits in quite well with what you have, and you should go to 4 hearts. So here West has got 9 points, more than a bare minimum, and they show their king of diamonds feature, and you end up in 4 hearts, which you should be able to make on this hand. How do you compete against the weak 2? Well, there are 3 bids you can make. You can double for takeout, that shows an opening hand, and ask your partner to bid their best suit. You can overcall with your own good 5-card suit, and you should be bidding on the assumption that your partner has a few points for you, about 7 points, or if you like 2 useful cards, something like a couple of kings or something. It's the same as competing against other preemptive bids. You have to bid a little bit aggressively on the assumption your partner's got something. And they will be taking into account that 7 points as well when they respond. The other thing you can do is to overcall 2 no trump, and this is used to show a hand with 16 to 19 points, and it must have a stopper in the opponent's suit. So let's look at some examples of this. West here opens 2 spades, and North has a perfect hand, perfect shape to double there. And if East had passed on this hand, South would bid one of the suits. Probably hearts is a better choice than diamonds. Actually, East does well here to raise the preempt to 4 spades here, and that really puts the pressure on South as to what to bid with this hand. So especially if East-West are non-vulnerable, that 4 spade bid is an excellent bid, not necessarily expecting to make it at all, but just to make it hard for South to know what to bid here. As it turns out on this hand, North-South can make 5 hearts or 5 diamonds, and East-West won't make 4 spades. So actually I believe South has to bid something on this hand. They should, if they're not going to bid their own suit, say 5 diamonds, then they should double, and that double would be for penalties, and that would be the best thing to do if East does go to 4 spades. How about this one? West opens 2 spades, and you have a nice hand, 15 points, and you have your own 6-card suit. So you should be thinking about bidding this. Bid again on the assumption your partner has some kind of fit for you, say at least a couple of hearts and about 7 points, and this hand is suitable for a bid of 3 hearts. And if East passes, South should probably also pass here. You only have 6 points, so it's around what your partner was hoping you would have for their 3-heart bid, and that should probably end the auction if North just bids 3 hearts. On the other hand, if we look at the makeable contract on this, you'll actually see that 3 hearts is the limit of what North-South can make with perfect defence and perfect play, while East-West can make 3 spades. In fact, East should almost certainly bid 3 spades on this hand. You have 3 spades to support your partner's 6, so you've got 9 trump there, and if you bid 3 spades, it now puts the pressure on South as to what to bid there. It turns out if they do bid 3 spades, it's best for you to bid 4 hearts, which might go down 1, or you may find that if you bid 4 hearts, they may bid 4 spades and go down at least 1 trick in 4 spades. So, but if East didn't bid, then 3 hearts would be where this would end. Okay, let's try another one. Again, your opponent bids 2 spades, and here you have a slightly stronger hand, 18 points, and your own good 6-card suit there. So I would be thinking, if my partner's got about 7 points, I want to be in 4 hearts on this hand, and so you should bid 4 hearts. The problem with bidding 3 hearts on this hand is that if your partner has the same hand they had in the previous example, they will just pass 3 hearts. So I would bid 4 hearts there, and again East probably does well to bid 4 spades on this hand, which makes it hard for you to know what to do on this hand. The makeable contracts are only 2 spades or 4 hearts, so if they do bid 4 spades, North or South should really double that. Probably North is in a better position to double, although he's by no means certain he can defeat 4 spades. But you don't want to let them get away with 4 spades down to not doubled, while you could have been making 4 hearts. The other thing you can do is overcall. So overcall in no trump. So this is a hand where with 17 points and a stopper in the opponent's suit, a stopper in spades, you should overcall. This shows a fairly balanced hand with 16 to 19 points. And if you look at the South hand here with 9 points, you should realise that you have a good shot at game there. I think South should bid 3 clubs, and that should be Stayman. So Stayman and transfers, if you play that, should also be on in this situation. Here, North responds 3 diamonds. That means they don't have a 4-card major. Obviously, you're only interested in a heart bid here. And so South goes to 3 no trump. On this hand, You might also be able to make 5 diamonds, but 3 no trump will almost certainly score better than playing in 5 diamonds. What do you do with a hand where playing strong twos you might have opened 2 of a suit? This is the first one is a typical hand, about 20 points, and you've only got 18 points on this hand, and it's probably worth about 8 tricks. You might have opened 2 spades with this, so you basically either have to open 1 of a suit, or if you think the hand is good enough, maybe bid 2 clubs. On the first hand, I think I'd only opened 1 spade. The second one is a little bit stronger, and again you could either open 1 spade or perhaps 2 clubs. You've only got 4 likely losers. You almost have game in your own hand. And then the third example, 22 points. You can either bid 2 clubs on this hand or perhaps 2 no trump to show a fairly balanced hand with 20 to 22 points. So if you're playing weak twos, you have to bear in mind that there are hands where your partner may open 1 of a suit with perhaps up to 20 or 21 points in it, and you should endeavour to find a reply to 1 of a suit where maybe previously you might have passed. This is such a hand. You've only got 5 points and you've only got 3 spades, so it's not perfect for any kind of bid, but I think you should probably most of the time bid 2 spades on this hand. You'd like to have another spade and you'd like to have another point or 2, but the danger if you pass is that your partner may have a hand like this, like we looked at on the previous screen, and that might be the final contract. If your partner has the hand with 18 points and after 2 spades, I think this is worth a jump to 4 spades, which you should definitely be able to make, just losing 2 hearts and a club perhaps. So if you're playing weak twos in 3 suits, open most 22 points with 22 point hands with 2 clubs, unless you feel you can open 2 no trump, and try to respond to 1 of the suit if you have 5 or more points, because partner could have opened 1 of the suit with up to 21 points. So that's the end of this video. You can see all my YouTube videos on the Tony Store Bridge Class site there, and I hope you found this one interesting.